There is a rule in God's kingdom, and that rule is forgiveness. Why? Because Jesus decided to pay for our debt, pay for our constant disobedience, pay for what we call our sin, our propensity to do bad all the time, and to miss the good we could do. He paid for it, not just lightly. He died for it on the cross, a horrible death. And as he was even agonizing there, he said, Father, forgive them. Those people that were just crucifying him, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. He gave the bitter example of forgiveness. And in his kingdom, forgiveness is rule number one. And we look at it and we see it in his gospel. First, when he was teaching his disciples to pray, he said, this is how you should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and, listen, forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. So is given. We can not be forgiven by God unless we have first forgiven our debtors. And that's why it said somewhere else, if you are there at the altar about to pray, and you remember that somebody has something against you, go first and reconcile, and then you can come. So your prayer will not even be accepted unless you have settled with your brothers and sisters, unless you have forgiven and cleaned the slate. And just in case people had not noticed or forgotten, he started discussing with them again on the subject. When Peter started asking him, maybe he had quarreled with someone and he said, Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother or sister? Up to 7 times? That looked reasonable. And Jesus said, no, I tell you, not 7 times, but 77. Therefore, and then he started telling a story that the kingdom of heaven is like a king. It is a king. The king wanted to settle account with his servants. And as he began, they brought him a man that owed him 10,000 bags of gold. Couldn't pay. So the master ordered that he, his wife, and kids would be sold to repay the debt, as was customary in those days. So the servant begged, be patient with me, I'll pay back everything. So the master took pity on him, canceled the debt, and let him go. It's exactly what God has done. Jesus took pity on us, came, died for us on the cross, canceled all the debt, and we were free. But then the servant went out, found one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 silver coins only. He grabbed him, began to choke him, pay back everything. And the other one started begging the same as he had done previously. Be patient with me, I'll pay it back. But he refused. Instead, he went off and had the man thrown into jail until he could pay. When the others saw it, they reported to the master and said that was terrible. And the master called him back. You wicked servant, I cancelled all that debt of yours because you begged me to. Shouldn't you have had mercy on your fellow servant, just as I had on you? Notice, just as I had on you. In anger, his master handed him over to the jailers to be tortured until he should pay him back. And he said, "This is how my heavenly Father will treat each of you unless you forgive your brothers and sisters from your heart." So make no mistake, we cannot believe that God is going to hear our prayers unless we are willing first to forgive the others. God said, go and reconcile first. Go and forgive first. And then I'll listen to you, and then I will forgive. And if you're not forgiven, if we are not forgiven, there's no way we can follow God to heaven when we die. That is a damnation assured. All that because of unforgiveness. And it's serious because many a time you don't realize that you are in such a state. When I came to Britain, I was battered and bruised verbally so many times. And I started bearing grudge. And it piled up and piled up and piled up. And I didn't even realize until some people started asking me, so long ago that you came, why not become a citizen? And each time they were saying that, I started saying, hey, God forbid, I will not. And then I started asking myself, why, why is it that I'm saying that? What reason? It's not reasonable. I've been here more than 30 years. And it suddenly dawned on me that I was bearing bitter grudge against the whole of England. Thank God that He let me know. So I had to do something drastic. I couldn't run after all the people that I was bearing grudge against. There were too many gone. So God suggested something. He said, simple, become a citizen so that you join them in the same pan and in the same box. And I did. And the day I did, it's like a padlock exploded in my heart. And all the grudge, all the bitterness, vanished. And I started loving these people that are now my fellow citizens. So my friend, my brother, my sister, drop your grudge, drop your unforgiveness to save yourself.